Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. Today we're talking all about the surprising truths and all the surprising facts of Weight Watchers. Now, whether you are new to Weight Watchers, whether you're considering Weight Watchers, or whether you've been in Weight Watchers for many years, this video's purpose is to help you calibrate your brain to better understand some of the deficits that are going on in the program and some things that you might be able to maximize and make more effective for you. So I'm not here to tell you it's good or it's bad. I'm just going to give you all the details and let you plug that in and see where you are in the process and what you want to do with this information. All right, so I'm going to bring it all to you about Weight Watchers in just a moment. First, please be sure to click like and subscribe so you support the channel and you help more people to see this video and so you get more videos like this in the future. All right, that said, let me break it all down. So let me start with a couple of simple statistics. According to a 2008 study and a few other studies that verified this information, about 1 out of every 5 Weight Watchers participants gained back their lost weight. Keep in mind the word weight after 1 year. About 50% gained back the lost weight within 5 years. Okay, those are not great statistics. So left to its own devices, if you're not going to do anything to manipulate the program and try to make it more effective for you, right off the bat, you got a 50-50 shot at being right back to your old weight again in 5 years. Now, there's a lot more to understand here because scale weight, as I've said in previous videos, does not tell you much of anything, okay? Scale weight itself is not just your body fat. So when people look at the scale and they lose some weight and they think, oh, this is good, and they celebrate because they assume it's fat that they lost, or when they gain a couple of pounds and they think, oh no, this is terrible, they assume it's fat that they gained, there's so much more to scale weight than just body fat. Okay, you're also measuring your muscle tissue, you're measuring your bone mineral density, and you're measuring your water, which your total body water can flux quite a bit every day. So in the grand scheme of looking at weight and tracking weight like they did in that study, and like Weight Watchers does constantly, you're not really understanding anything. It's not a very helpful metric. Just to drive this point home a little bit more before I continue, I want you to understand in this context, if you lose, say, 10 pounds on a Weight Watchers program, there is a very, very good chance that 7 or 8 pounds or so are body fat, and that the remaining 2 or 3 are just water loss, which is not good for you, the way you're operating each day, your organs, your biochemistry. There is also a chance that it's muscle tissue. And that's not even just a chance, that's often the case with Weight Watchers. And the reason for that is Weight Watchers is not going out of their way to make sure that you're getting an optimal amount of protein for your body at its current level of fitness. They're not doing that, okay? They're looking at a whole different system with their point system. And so they're encouraging protein, sure, I understand that, but they're not going out of their way to give you the clinical necessity of making sure you're getting enough protein to at least sustain your muscle tissue, if not even grow it further on the program. Now, you might think, well, so what? Weight's weight. I want the scale number to come down. And if I'm losing 7 or 8 pounds of fat and I only lose, or if I only lose perhaps 2 or 3 pounds of muscle, isn't it worthwhile to get the fat off? I can always gain more muscle later. I understand that argument. The problem is it doesn't really work that way. When you lose muscle tissue, you are depreciating your metabolism. When you depreciate your metabolism, more body fat is more readily going to come back on. So you see what's happening here? This is why when you look at these studies, people are gaining back. 50% of people on Weight Watchers gain that weight back within 5 years. And if you understand clinical weight management, you know that when you lose X amount of pounds and you gain it all back, it's usually a little more fat than before and a little less muscle. So hypothetically, if you lost, say, 50 pounds on a program like Weight Watchers and you lose that weight, and you're one of the 50% of people who then gain back that 50 pounds over 5 years, as we found in that study. Well, the chances are that 50 pounds, what you lost was probably, let's say, 45 pounds of fat, 5 pounds of muscle, and then you gained back 50 pounds of fat. That's the kind of common numbers that we're seeing in a lot of data points out there. If you understand muscle metabolism, you understand lifestyle change, and if you understand what happens clinically, that's usually the way it goes when you're not getting enough protein. And most people on Weight Watchers are not consistently getting enough protein. So this is really critical. Now, the other big component is although Weight Watchers does encourage strength training and having a generally good exercise program, there's no methodology to put that together. They're not looking at the deep clinical factors necessary to create the kind of weight management program that's going to burn off body fat, just body fat, and preserve muscle or even gain muscle, and then keep that going year after year. That's very unlikely with Weight Watchers. It just doesn't really happen much at all. And if it does happen, you'd frankly have to be the one to really implement these kind of things that I'm talking about, to implement a proper strength program. Not just any strength program, not just something at a local gym, like a boot camp or something like that, but something that's actually meant for you. And that when your muscles are ready to progress, you progress. If you don't have that, it's pretty unlikely that you're going to sustain your muscle tissue throughout the fat loss process. Okay. And the worst thing is you don't really know what's happening if you're not tracking body fat. Now, some Weight Watchers scales can track body fat percentage. They don't seem terribly accurate according to our tests, but that's at the point of this particular video and podcast. And so I think you need to take some serious steps. You want to, for one, make sure that you're actually getting the right amount of protein for your body's clinical needs and that you're staying on top of that week to week. And measuring as well, not just putting together a meal plan and sticking to it in a static way, but checking with your body composition to see, am I losing muscle? Am I only losing fat? If I'm losing fat and sustaining muscle, that's great for now, but is that going to continue into next week? And you have to really stay on top of those variables. So you want to be checking your body composition. You want to have a meal plan that's developing with your changing body composition. So as you get more musculature, hopefully, or as you gain a little bit more muscle, then you're able to take in more protein to sustain that muscle tissue further. And as you're losing body fat, you're also going to have different caloric needs as well. Your carbohydrate intake can be different. As your workouts are changing, your needs are going to be different in terms of meal planning. All of this is really critical to confidently create long-term weight loss and weight management. So on that note, if you would like to get my help, you can reach out to the description. See the description. I've got my phone number there as well as my website. So you can reach out to me either way. You can also comment down below with your particular questions. Just give me as much background as you can. Okay, give me a lot of background on which muscles you're strength training, how often you're strength training them, what percentage of your 1 rep max you're strength training them, if you know that, and perhaps if you've been in Weight Watchers at all, how long you've been in the program and what your experiences have been like. So the more I know, the more I can help. I'm looking forward to the next podcast, everybody. And as always, take care. I'll see you then.